If somebody does something that's a little bit outside the lines and there is a big complaint on social media, nobody stands up for them. And the problem is that nobody ever gets canceled for being too woke. So you can say the craziest
authentically, organically want to share. I go back to the authenticity, right? It's what I love and what felt authentic, but also to be authentic. Shut the F up. That's what just happened.
Every time Meghan Markle steps back into the spotlight, it's a mix of déjà vu and spectacle. There's always something to admire about her, yet it's quickly overshadowed by a familiar pattern. She plays the victim, crafts the narrative to her favor, and then seems genuinely shocked when the backlash lands harder than she anticipated.
She's just got so used to lying that maybe, in my opinion, she believes the lies she tells. I don't know, but either way, she's just been so
And his latest takedown cut sharper than ever, not only roasting Meghan but exposing her repetitive pattern for all to see. The same cycle of claiming hate, violence, and injustice, demanding it stop, and then blaming others when things spiral out of control. The audience erupted with laughter because once Maher laid it bare, the act looked painfully obvious. She may have lost the Royal Highness title, but Meghan still enters interviews with that trademark performance, wide-eyed, trembling voice, and a flawlessly polished poor me story.
It's a hate crime, and it's violence, and it's unacceptable, and it's just got to stop. You don't get your teenagers under control.
It's as if Meghan is reading from a script we've all seen 100 times, and Maher ripped right through it, showing how she transforms every misstep into a grand sob story, not from genuine pain, but as a calculated performance meant to play the public like a piano, striking the same worn-out keys until the tune grows stale. The audience didn't just laugh, they nodded in recognition, realizing they'd been witnessing the
You're complaining about your hard life, and you're so privileged. It's just so weird.
It's ridiculous. I totally agree.
Plays the victim. My castle's too small. The queen is mean to me. They won't let me call myself Her Royal Highness anymore.
From Oprah's stage to Netflix screens, Meghan Markle's interviews play out like scripted drama, tearful confessions, drawn-out pauses, and the familiar nobody understands me storyline, always the same routine dressed up as revelation. And when Spotify questioned her about her podcast, she didn't point to weak numbers or low listenership, but offered yet another polished excuse to keep the performance going.
Bullies of that generation, as I said, raised wrong. So they think when someone disagrees with them, it's a hate crime, and it's violence, and it's unacceptable, and it's just got to stop. You don't get your teenagers under control.
Meghan framed Spotify's failure as the result of mysterious institutional resistance, once again turning a flop into a full-blown conspiracy. Just as in her conflicts with the royal family, she casts herself as the lonely outsider, while conveniently overlooking how her own choices fueled the chaos, transforming every setback into yet another pity-filled chapter of her ongoing saga.
Your life. And I very naively, I'm American, we don't have that.
Right.
I'm so unsafe when I'm in Britain. Everybody's trying to kill me. My family would be at such risk. Oh my God, do you realize how
Royal life then quickly shifts to blaming British tabloids, spicing every podcast with dramatic tales and crocodile tears. And, let's be honest, she's not walking this path alone, as Meghan has pulled Harry into the pity parade too, reducing a once respected prince to little more than a sidekick. In her carefully staged victim performance,
has been a mad, keen player of the victim card. The nasty Brits who took against her because of the colour of her skin. The social media lynch mob who are so unconscionably cruel to her. The journalist haters who keep writing about what a bully she is. All the negative media coverage she gets has nothing to do with her. It's not her personality. It's not her behaviour. And it's definitely not her ruthless ambition.
they blame everyone but themselves while thriving on the chaos they create. And the media doesn't even need popcorn, because the moment Meghan's tears hit the screen, headlines dissect every pause, trembling word, and alleged revelation, breaking down a performance that unfolds like the cringiest season finale of a bad soap opera, with Meghan firmly in the lead role. And just when it seems the endless victim routine has reached peak drama, she's already preparing for the next act.
I think Harry's a... I do. I think he's a whining, whinging, complaining, woe is me, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems. Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's fucking life is hard.
Well, I give her a gold medal.
Full-blown narcissist mode, activated Meghan morphs from the wronged princess into the self-declared center of the universe. Convinced every camera, headline, and spotlight should orbit her like planets around the sun, turning life into a one-woman show, where friends, family, and even royals are mere disposable extras. She's demonstrated this repeatedly, with people no longer whispering, but openly calling it what it is, not confidence, but textbook narcissism, where every chapter of her story echoes the same refrain: Meghan first, everyone else.
Feeling forced to be all looks and little substance. And that's how it felt for me at the time, being reduced to this specific archetype.
What has emerged is a self-absorbed narcissist living in a parallel universe with her own version of the truth.
And then comes the ultimate plot twist, so hypocritical, it borders on comedy: the privacy card. Meghan and Harry loudly demand to be left alone, yet cash in with multi-million-dollar deals to spill every private detail on camera, like yelling no photos, while live streaming from their own driveway. Every time they insist on space, they reappear in a podcast, docuseries, or glossy magazine cover, proving that privacy, Markle style, really just means profiting off the very attention they claim to hate. And, let's be honest,
Me.
Do you know her?
No, but she is a malignant narcissist who cannot get it.
shouting about privacy, but anyone paying attention knows that's not what they're really after. The evidence is in the giant podcast checks, flashy Netflix deals, and primetime tell-alls with Oprah, which aren't about privacy at all, but PR with a fat paycheck. Meghan never stops oversharing, because in her world, privacy simply means cutting out the boring parts while highlighting only the juicy, click-worthy moments. One day, it's a random twerking video nobody asked for. The next, it's dragging her kids into the spotlight under the guise of protection, turning privacy into nothing more than Meghan-style marketing. Say it, sell it, overshare it with maximum drama. And when it comes to drama, her long list of failures deserves its own Sussex survival guide, from interviews that backfired to books that read like marathon pity parties, with even her very first podcast setting the tone for a non-stop comedy of error.
How they have said that they want to retire into a more quiet life away from the royal family, even though they are simultaneously trashing their families publicly, writing books, starting podcasts, doing Netflix shows, winning awards for their humanitarian and activist efforts. All of the above, it's really what all of us private people do, you know?
Meghan's podcast debut with Jamie was meant to charm audiences and make her but it flopped spectacularly, turning her into a running joke. Instead of enhancing her image, it shredded it, especially when she pitched the idea that she appeared raw and makeup-free, an angle critics quickly dismantled by pointing to her flawless skin, perfect lighting, and what looked like a glam squad just off camera. Body language experts called her out for faking it, noting that every emotional beat seemed rehearsed, with staged expressions, dramatic pauses, and eye movements that screamed scripted performance. Nothing felt authentic. Every gesture was polished to the point of painful fakery, leaving her desperate attempts at relatability exposed as embarrassing. With expressions worthy of awards for worst acting, she flipped personas faster than Netflix dropped her million-dollar deals, bouncing from fragile outsider to rebellious royal icon, proving that in Meghan's world, relatable simply means slapping on a royal label, no matter how phony.
This is to induce Elizabeth's birth. She's dancing in front of the camera. Oh God, it looks like a lap dancing club with pregnant women. He's also dancing in front of the camera. She's got a black dress on. She's literally holding her bump and twerking, and she's put this on social media. Is it me? Is it me, or is there nothing this woman... Is she ever going to get to the point where she literally looks in the mirror and goes, nobody's interested in my jam or my life, nobody likes me, shut the hell up?
I mean, this is oversharing.
People who knew Meghan before all this insist that the soft, trembling, vulnerable act is pure fiction, a persona that never matched her old mannerisms, but now, wrapped in royal privilege, gets paraded like an audition for world's most misunderstood woman. It doesn't feel authentic. It reads like a sympathy script, especially when she plays the working mom card, which is laughable compared to real mothers grinding from sunrise to sunset just to put food on the table. Meghan's version of hard work looks more like manipulating Harry, using her kids as props, and choosing which SOB story to cash in on next. A cycle of flopped podcasts, failed series, and endless rebrands that trades genuine grit for drama dressed up as duty. The more she insists she's just another hardworking mom, the clearer it becomes that her struggles are staged for the spotlight, not lived experiences. And when she dropped the line, "Share my name with my children," Bill Maher didn't let it slide, mocking the absurdity of Meghan complaining while living in castles, signing million-dollar contracts, and having cameras chase her every move, yet still
Kids see me as a working mom.
Oh my God. And that we all see her as that because what? She feels guilty about the $150 million she grifted off of being a fake royal.
Meghan could turn having everything into yet another chapter of royal misery, and her non-stop quest to appear authentic has backfired spectacularly. Every move feels staged. Every real moment so rehearsed it might as well come with cue cards, and the harder she pushes the faker it looks, drawing louder audience criticism, the racism accusations against the royals, intended to cast her as a brave truth-teller, instead laid bare the performance behind the tears, leaving her branded as inauthentic ever since. Now, every attempt to rebuild her image comes across as more scripted, more exaggerated, and less believable. And because she's always complaining, people are left wondering what she's even talking about in the first.
You know, just take a hint from the Queen, the recently departed.
Never complain, never explain, and rarely be heard speak.
The pattern couldn't be clearer. Every move drips with desperate branding masked as authenticity, and her infamous podcast only amplified the effect, with critics like Bill Maher tearing apart the obvious fake. At the core, it's always the same clash, her relentless inauthentic vibe colliding with her privileged reality, and when you pile on the endless PR stunts, the whole act looks like one giant out-of-touch scramble for relevance. Nothing feels natural. It's misery packaged as marketing, and people aren't buying it anymore. Maher's jab about her needing to take a cue from the late Queen Elizabeth drove the point home. The Queen led with quiet dignity, while Meghan floods every channel, podcast, Instagram post, and interview, over-explaining herself until the irony is brutal. The more she talks, the less convincing she sounds.
Jerks at every turn, bullying members of the palace, complaining constantly if not every piece of press was complimentary enough of you, being nasty to William and Kate. I could go on, but there's a reason the press turned on her that has nothing to do with, as the clip says, hate.
Her brand isn't building, it's collapsing under its own overexposure, and she practically hands people material every time she cries about privacy, throws out racism claims, launches another flat podcast, or brags about being authentic. No matter the million-dollar deals, titles, or sympathy cards, the public sees right through it. Because her entire act is staged drama, and the harder she sells authenticity, the faker it looks. Maybe if she stopped scripting every chapter of her life, she'd finally stumble into the realness she's been trying to market, but until then, it's just another never-ending season of her royal soap opera, a spectacle so fake it might as well be called *Pity Palace*. So, what do you think? Will Meghan ever stop turning her life into drama? Or is she already filming the next season of her pity parade? Drop your thoughts below, roast away, and if this gave you a laugh, don't forget to smash that like button and